For every dollar of value you produce at work, your employer keeps approximately 60 to 70 cents. You get the remaining 30 to 40 cents as your salary. This is not a scandal or a conspiracy. This is exactly how employment works, and it is the entire reason companies employ people. If your employer could not keep the majority of the value you produce, they would have no reason to employ you at all. This is not a criticism of your employer. It is a description of the mechanics. And understanding this mechanic clearly changes how you think about your entire relationship with work, because it reveals a truth that almost nobody discusses openly. You are about to see what this means for your finances and what to do about it. Step 3 is the one that changes your relationship with your job permanently. Save this because this is one of the most important reframings you can make about work. Point 1 is that this dynamic explains why hard work alone rarely makes anyone wealthy. If you work twice as hard, you produce twice as much value, but your salary does not double. The additional value flows mostly to the company, not to you. This is why the person who works 60 hours per week for their employer is not twice as wealthy as the person who works 40 hours. They are producing more, but they are keeping only a small portion of the extra production. The wealthy figured this out. They stopped working harder for the same 30 to 40 cents on the dollar. They started building situations where they kept more of what they produced. Ownership of businesses, real estate investments, intellectual property, investments in the stock market. Each of these lets them keep a much larger percentage of the value they produce, sometimes almost all of it. Point 2 is that this is why side income streams are so powerful for wealth building. When you freelance directly, you keep 100% of what you charge. When you sell a digital product, you keep most of the revenue. When you own investments, you keep most of the returns. The percentage you keep is dramatically different from the percentage you keep at your job. A dollar of side income is often worth $2 or $3 of salary in terms of what actually enters your net worth. Save this because point 3 is the specific reframing that changes your entire working life, and almost nobody explains it clearly. Point 3 is understanding that your job is not for making you wealthy. It is for funding the things that will make you wealthy. This is a fundamental reframing. Most people treat their job as if it were the path to wealth. They work harder, longer, more loyally, expecting the job itself to eventually produce wealth. It cannot. The mechanics of employment prevent it, because the employer must keep the majority of the value or the employment relationship makes no sense. The job is the fuel source. It provides the raw material of money that you can then convert into wealth-building activities, investments, side businesses, real estate, skills that raise your earning potential. Every dollar the job gives you is a chance to build something that keeps a much higher percentage of its output. The people who eventually become wealthy use their jobs this way. They funded ownership. They funded investments. They funded skill building. They treated the job as an input to something larger, not as the end point itself. Point 4 is what this looks like practically. Every paycheck, at least 15 to 20% should root into wealth-building activities before your lifestyle absorbs the money. Retirement accounts, brokerage accounts, skill building, side business investments. This is not because 15% is a magic number. It is because that amount, converted from salary into ownership, dramatically changes your long-term financial outcomes. Point 5 is that this reframing changes how you feel about work itself. When your job is the endpoint, every raise you do not get feels like a personal failure. Every promotion you miss feels like your future being denied. When your job is the fuel source, these things matter, but they do not define your future. Your future is being built by what you do with the fuel, not by whether the fuel source gives you a raise this year. The people who feel calm about their careers, even in unstable industries, are usually the ones who understand this. Their financial future does not depend on the job continuing forever. It depends on what they are building with the money the job provides. That building is happening whether or not the job is going well.